Right, Aaron Olson with First Blood. You know, we're talking about something that he's interested in. That's a good thing. And I see Uncle Steve's joined us this morning as well. Uh, and Santa Steve says, "Hi, Cam." So Cameron must be in the chat somewhere and just hadn't come up yet. Mario will be joining us shortly. And this morning we're going to be talking about, yes, indeed, the Epstein list. So what happened, guys? Cameron says, "Did I get First Blood with a Rumble comment?" Well, okay then. No, you did not. So, yes, y'all start commenting before we open the show. The first comment I see is who I usually shout out as First Blood. If I go over to the Rumble page, then indeed Cameron had First Blood prior to the show. Aaron Olson happened to hit it right there. And I see that Cameron says no video today. Tempted, but he just can't. And we understand, brother, but we happy to have you Saturday. It's great to get you if we can. Okay, Mario, we got you?
Yes, you have me.
Okay. So there's
a
lot.
Did Cameron
go ahead.
Nothing. I was gonna got it. Cameron can't be here. Got it, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing the job. But it looks like he's just dropped a chat in the show thread. He appears to be a little butthurt over not getting the first comment shout out. But Cameron, you know how that works. Anyway, Mario and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, and my first thoughts on the new revelations on the Epstein list were, what do we even say about it? Just, oh, well, I guess we got fucked again. That's about all there is to say about it. But, well, here's how we dig a story out of this. We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to look at this article about it first, but we're going to talk a little bit about kind of some theory craft about what can we extrapolate analytically from the information at hand. And as it turns out, we are both highly qualified professionals in the analytic extrapolation of data from incomplete sets.
As for what we can take away from this, the new development here, there is actually something, okay? And it's, you see, it's not news for me, okay? Because as I said, during the original Pam Bondi release, okay, when you actually got less information that you got from a previous release, okay, that I said you will never get what you want for this case, okay? It is never going to happen.
Agreed.
There are too many powerful people, okay? In fact, perhaps a majority of the most powerful people in the country, okay, or globalists in general, all right, who would be immediately compromised by the release of all the known Epstein materials, to include the treasure trove of videotape evidence that was pulled out of the Wexner estate, which was given to Epstein there in Manhattan, okay, one of the most expensive pieces of real estate in Manhattan, where Jeffrey Epstein ran some of his Mossad-backed blackmail operation, all right, outside of more than just Little St. James Island, okay? So if you thought that electing Trump, okay, would be like the disinfectant over this grim story, okay, this grim episode in American history, no, you need to understand what this proves is that there are still people making decisions that are above the level of the president, all right, and that is the most charitable. That's me being charitable on behalf of Donald Trump, okay, but there are levels above, there are pay grades above president. Okay, and you are never, ever, ever going to get this information, barring some kind of like catastrophic government employee like leakage. Okay, never going to happen. And I said this would never happen last time. So you need to get it out of your head.
The most charitable thing we could extend to Donald Trump, and hey, please believe I want to be charitable to President Trump because he has been great on so many things. And y'all, before you get to, well, I regret my vote because I thought it was going to get me the Epstein list. Hold up. Let's be fair. Your alternative was Kamala Harris. That was going to get you not the Epstein list and total social collapse. So it was your choices. Your choices never included get the Epstein list. So the most charitable extension I can make to Donald Trump on what's happening with the Epstein list, and the most charitable I can be to Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino in this, is that the global pedophiles, the globalist pedophile network, essentially they got away with it when they murdered Jeffrey Epstein in his prison cell and immediately destroyed the key evidence that existed that could have completed any kind of indictments or prosecutions against that list of people. In fact, it would not surprise me if, and we will never learn this, but it would not surprise me to learn that what exists currently is a file that includes the evidence that was damning against Epstein himself and the conduct of his activities, but includes none of the evidence that links him to the clients that he had. But keep in mind, the fact is that the things that Epstein was charged with and incarcerated for are necessarily transactional activities, which absolutely, in order for those activities to have occurred, involved a third party, a client who received product or services for remuneration or consideration. That there were no clients, unless it is the case that Epstein never trafficked a child, then it is a foregone conclusion that clients existed. Now, I said we were going to get to the article first, but you kind of jumped the gun on me, Mario. So fuck the article. Let's get into this a little bit. There are some possibilities, and what are those possibilities? Trump is covering this up because he's on the Epstein list. Well, I think we can pretty readily dismiss that out of hand, because after 4 years of Biden, and with going into an election where it's Donald Trump versus Joe Biden and then Kamala Harris, we saw so much corruption and lawfare and the like out of the Biden administration that to believe Trump was on the list and they didn't basically assert that, right? They didn't even make that claim. Now, yes, there were a bunch of lefties that made the claim, certainly, but the Democrat Party did not officially make the claim that Donald Trump was on the list and that there was evidence to support that claim. If he had been, they would have absolutely done that. It's also likely the case that there's also a good chance that one of the conspiracy theories out there is that the 2020 election was stolen precisely so that the Democrats could get control of the government long enough to destroy whatever evidence there was to indict the various members of the party.
It is rare on this program, Chris, where I'm going to disagree with everything you said. Okay, so quickly,
everything,
all right, virtually everything, yes. So we don't know the truth about Donald Trump and the Epstein and the Epstein client list, Epstein files, the whole shebang. Okay,
I didn't say we did. I said if he was on the list, that would most likely have been revealed by the Democrats. That makes it unlikely he was on the list.
I disagree with that as well, because there is a certain level where the uni party will not touch it. Okay, why have, for example, neither political party is going to release the truth about, say, 9/11, about what the general public doesn't know, to harm the other political party, because it's simply too big a liability. Okay, Jeffrey Epstein's files is one of those things where the Republicans and the Democrats, okay, especially at the senior level, would agree behind closed doors that should never ever be released. Okay, one, because not only would it compromise U.S. politicians, okay, not only would it compromise, like, business titans, within, in within the globalized world. All right, it's also going to it also is going to reveal the truth about Israel, the truth about Mossad's compromise operations. Okay, and neither party, if neither party will touch it, then that should be like a neon sign that says Israel probably involved. Okay,
Right.
if neither party will touch it. All right, so no, I don't agree with that. That would be used for partisan politics ever. Okay. Two, Donald Trump was a close personal friend of Jeffrey Epstein for like 15 years, okay? Especially during Donald Trump's like, you know, whore master playboy period, okay, in the late 80s through the 90s, right? When Donald Trump was basically dipsticking every hua, all right, in the tri-state area, all right? So Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, like, they ran teen beauty pageants together, man. Like that's fucking talk about suspicious. All right, there. What I would say about Trump, which what I can say is that there is no. I've not seen any direct evidence that he got on the Lolita Express for trips to Little St. James Island. Okay, there were two recorded instances where Donald Trump got on the Lolita Express, but it was from a trip from New York to Mar-a-Lago. Okay, um, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein ultimately had their falling out. The public story was that it was, over. Basically, Epstein was fondling like some teenage girl at Mar-a-Lago. Okay, who was like a waitress. Um, no, it was actually over there was a Jewish billionaire in Palm Beach who died, and his estate plan wasn't 100% in order, and an estate sale, and they were both bidding on the same property in Palm Beach. All right, Donald Trump ultimately won, and this really chapped up Jeffrey Epstein's ass. That's why they had a falling out. Now, if you want to know the truth, the only hope at this point to get any additional truth about Epstein's operations and the individuals involved would be if Ghislaine Maxwell was let out of whatever, triple alpha R max maximum security Antarctic Fortress of Solitude, facility that she's being held in. The only person left that's
Right.
going to do anything
She's
is
at the
Ghislaine
bottom of the
Maxwell.
well in Alligator Alcatraz, basically.
And Ghislaine Maxwell is a close personal friend of Elon Musk. Okay, so it's so deep. Okay, that Epstein is like it's an iceberg. Okay, what you see at the very top is nothing compared to how deep it goes below. All right. And yeah,
So,
it's the key to unraveling the entire global American empire. All right, is basically the truth about Epstein. I dare say. Yeah, it was Miss Teen USA Pit Nanny. The one incident of that I have found. All right. The rest of it was basically, they'd have parties where basically it would be younger women, okay, but not necessarily teenagers, and it was basically, imagine the most disgusting male type behavior, fucking frat boy style party, that type of shit.
freaking
Donald Trump, no, Donald Trump in the
Monterey,
90s wasn't
Monterey,
Donald Trump in the 90s.
Monterey hotel party.
Donald Trump in the 90s was an unrepentant whore master. Okay, just understand that. Like, wash my hands.
And that's pretty much we know that. All right.
Yes, that's a known failing, and that's been known since he ran for office the first time. I'm not bringing that up like that's some kind of new scandal. It's not.
Right.
Everybody knew that.
And yeah, that's actually in this case that's actually a point in Trump's favor. Is right. There's nobody is under the delusion that Donald Trump ever had to pay for it. I mean, you're always paying for it, but basically, he could be an uglier man than he is. I've got more than $1 billion in capital at my immediate disposal. That buys you a whole lot of penthouse parties. Let's not be naive about it. Women are hypergamous generally, and an ugly man with a pile of money is going to be covered in just easy action.
Well, covered in easy action and basically connected to every major politician and business leader. Okay, particularly in the science field. Okay, this guy loved collecting scientists. Okay, and helping them get their rocks off. Um, Cameron, I'm not. I would like to respond to your post, but I can't do it until you post your R. Okay, I'll recognize your presence. All right, that's what I'm willing to offer you, but I will not read what you post. Okay, so let's talk
So,
about what we know. You want to talk
okay, go ahead.
about? Yeah. So let's talk about developments since Trump's second term. Okay, since Trump came back in office, right? Now, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, or Kash Patel. All right, I suspect one of these people will be resigning within the next 2 weeks. Okay,
And I suspect it'll be Pam Bondi. She's
I
the one
agree.
that really shit the bed on the optics.
She's the one who got caught straight lying. Okay, now Pam Bondi said, like before the initial release, she said she had thousands of documents and videotapes, okay, on her desk, so to speak, right? Then the initial release was made, and there was basically a binder with stuff that anybody could get off of 4chan, okay, but even further redacted from what you could have found
Yeah,
on 4chan.
it was nothing we hadn't
right?
already seen. We
Yeah,
covered that on the show.
It was a nothing binder, all right? It looked like someone went down to Kinko's and whipped up some shit real quick for like a school project, all right? Now, Pam Bondi claimed that the initial release was weak because the good stuff was still being held at the FBI in New York, between the FBI office there, okay, and the Southern District of New York, the SDNY. Which, anytime you hear those acronyms, it's always something shady, okay, or
Yeah.
something government level crime going on. All right. So then Pam Bondi said that they later that week, immediately after, that was her alibi. Okay, immediately after the week first release, Pam Bondi says that they seized all those files and all the videotapes. Okay, like it is literally from the initial FBI report from 2008. Okay, a cardboard box, basically packed to the brim with DVDs. Okay, of various political or business leaders porking teenagers. Okay, literally tons of actual video compromise evidence. Okay, exactly, which revealed exactly what Epstein's operation was. Okay, everyone kind of knew it, but that is the truth. Sexual blackmail. That's what makes the world go round. All right, so they seized all those case files and those videos from New York. All right, and then what happened to it? And then the whole thing got buried. All right, it is just as likely, whatever story you're hearing right now in the news, it is just as likely that this administration captured all that material and then buried it, put it in the forever hole so that no one will ever see it, if not outright destroyed it. All right, this is a Trump will recover from this. Okay, but Pam Bondi, I don't think Pam Bondi will.
No.
I mean, you look at the who's the Levitt, the cute chick who reads the news for Trump. What's her name?
Caroline Levitt.
Yeah, Caroline Levitt, right? She got fucking horsewhipped, all right, at a press conference yesterday.
Yeah,
Like, it was bad.
if we have time, we'll look at that a little bit. I do have to hard out at 8:30, but if we have time, we'll look at that a little bit. Vigilant Fox has a thread for that is pretty rock solid. I want to address this comment real quick. Alex says the article is a little sensational. The DOJ is saying they didn't find a list, not that he didn't have clients. Would you keep a list? So here's the thing. We've heard this phrase, the Epstein client list, over and over again. And let's look at that for a minute. It's never been entirely clear, right? It's just been referred to as the Epstein client list. Now, that could be Maxwell's little black book of contacts. That could be Epstein keeping books with, this, DVD 1375 has the compromat on, on Mr. Smith, etc. It could be something like that. or it could literally just be the investigator and prosecutor's list of, as we've reviewed evidence, we've shown that Epstein has done X, Y, and Z, and we've connected him to these people. And, that list could even go so far as to be, okay, he's been connected to these people. That doesn't mean they did anything wrong yet, but we know that there are people who did something wrong, and those people are likely in this pool. So, in all fairness, the thing that we're referring to when we say the Epstein client list is sort of a nebulous concept.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever made the claim that, like, basically Epstein just sat down and wrote, Joe Smith bought 3 teenagers on January 42nd, whatever.
Yeah. The Epstein client list, it's not like some dungeon in Legend of Zelda where you get the master key and then you go unlock the treasure chest and it's like do Epstein client list. It's not. That's not how intelligence operation analytics works, right? You say, okay, here's a big chunk of information that might mean something. Now let's dig through it and say, okay, this doesn't mean anything. Throw that away. The list gets a little smaller. Okay, this doesn't mean anything. Throw that away. Oh, this is interesting, but not necessarily. We don't know if it means anything. We'll put this on the other list, and it's a constant process of sorting and sifting and examining and resorting and culling down to a list. Right. So I want to mention let's mention Cash and Bongino here. Okay. Now, both of these guys come from the podcast scene. Okay, prior to the election, right? Prior to that campaign. Now, both of them have publicly stated multiple times. You can go dig it up on YouTube, dig it up on Rumble. Okay, that they did not believe the official story. All right, of Jeffrey Epstein, and that basically the government was hiding it. There was a conspiracy. All right, both of them. Now they're both basically compromised. Okay, the moment they took their position within the FBI, they appear to be instantaneously compromised. Right, which basically, Chris and I have spoke for years on this show that the FBI may in fact be irredeemable. Okay, it simply cannot be reformed at this point. All right. I don't know what they have or what exists within that building, okay, or who, that no matter who you post in any leadership position there, they immediately fall in line with the company frickin' program. All right, it's like they have. It
looks the evidence seems to suggest that the big FBI headquarters building is at Quantico, probably, where they do the training, is actually a polydimensional prison for the original Overlord Cthulhu, and you walk in and you just get a straight squid god tentacle to the back of the head.
Yeah,
and that's how your career begins.
I would say my explanation for it was basically there's an AI of original J. Edgar Hoover never died. They took his consciousness and put it in an AI. Okay,
Futurama head in a jar.
Yes, and that AI somewhere in a basement in Quantico, there is the J. Edgar Hoover AI, and it functions exactly like Mr. House from Fallout New Vegas. Okay, and anyone who gets a top level position at the FBI, they get sent behind the green curtain to go talk to J. Edgar, and J. Edgar says, "So I heard you want to reform my organization, my beautiful, beautiful organization. Well, let's review every internet search you have ever conducted since the age of 17. We may be here for a while." No, Mr. House, that's fine. You tell me what I'm going to do as FBI director. Okay, that seems more likely. And TPS report says, no intention of investigating further. Trump administration botched this. Bondi botched this. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's done. There will be no further action taken on this unless Ghislaine Maxwell herself somehow escapes the Fortress of Solitude and can speak to the American public. Or better yet, if she can access Reddit again, where she was the #1 poster for like 5 freaking years. She was the most active user on Reddit during the Obama administration. Okay. All right. Now, Cash and Bongino. Maybe didn't you posted that tweet yesterday, Chris? Right, the one where it's like maybe it was a setup. Maybe they just wanted to. Maybe instead of burning actual assets within the FBI, they wanted to bring in a couple outsiders from the podcast scene and burn them. Right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Just,
a possibility. Now,
just put it.
there's also an outside possibility that this whole thing is a misdirect. Cash and Dan are actually about to take down all of the global elites that appeared on the actual list, and they just don't want to tip their hand. And that is an outside possibility. I'm not holding my breath. There is a non-zero chance, but it's kind of like the chance of being murdered by a cow with a
I
hatchet.
like where you're going here, Chris. Patriots in control. 2 more weeks. Trust Sessions. Yes. It's all coming together now.
And yeah, and Alex, wasn't it a couple weeks ago that Kash Patel was on Fox and said there was nothing to see here? Yeah, guys, you've seen the videos of Dan and Kash saying Epstein killed himself. They look like hostage videos.
Yeah.
When Bongino said,
Absolutely.
"Oh, I've seen the evidence. He killed himself." Oh, really?
That's what the America. That's what I want to know. As far as the Epstein file, yeah, I already knew you're not going to. What it took? What it took? Like 80 years. It took 80 years for them to drop enough breadcrumbs about JFK to the point where you could. A reasonably intelligent individual could conclude exactly what happened, right? 80 years. Did you really think you're going to get Epstein this soon? Okay.
Yeah. Here's the
It's
call.
never going to happen. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Okay, that is precisely what happened to Kash Patel. That is. Okay. Was there? Unverified says MAGA was a trap. That's going a little too far. Okay.
Agreed.
Ultimately, I know that. Ultimately, the Epstein thing, yeah, it's infuriating because it means that the people that we think are in power are not actually in power. Okay. Ultimately, when it comes to making certain decisions, but don't be naive. Unverified. You already knew that. Okay. All right. But with your 60 years, but Cameron has taken to insulting me in the chat. That's okay, Cameron. Get it out. Let it out. It's okay. It's good for you. Anyway, let's see here. Wanted to make one other important point about Epstein case, which was and don't forget, like Trump's mysterious entanglement, okay, with the Epstein case, it as far as action he has taken within his role as president of the United States, that does extend back to his first administration as well. Okay. In 2008, when Jeffrey Epstein got that sweetheart deal from the DOJ, all right, and the prosecutor's name was Jim Acosta. Last name was Acosta. Okay, I don't want to get him confused. It was an Acosta. Okay, he made that sweetheart deal where Jeffrey basically had to go to jail during the day, or no, go to jail at night. He had to sleep at jail, but he was free for 12 hours a day to conduct business. Okay, and this was for a couple years, and he had to register as a sex offender. Right, pretty sweet deal for an international sex trafficker. All right, and this I need his name. Acosta. Give me a second. Epstein Acosta, because I'm gonna say it's the DOJ.
Was it Tim?
Alex. It's Alex. It's not Jim. It's not the
Okay.
CNN reporter. It's not disgraced CNN reporter. Okay, it's Alex Acosta. Okay, Alex Acosta was that prosecutor, and then remember, in Trump's first administration, Alex Acosta, who is a lawyer, basically a prosecutor, was picked seemingly at random to be the Secretary of Labor. Okay, that's one of those things that never made sense from Trump's first administration. Okay, why is the guy who let Epstein off the hook? Why is he the Secretary of Labor? Was he calling in a favor? Did he want like a sweet plum job where he didn't really have to do anything? Maybe. I don't know, but it's fucking suspect. I'll tell you what,
And I don't know what else to do with it.
Yeah, you can't. Palm Beach County Sheriff, okay, who investigated Epstein, did more freaking work towards exposing this case than anyone in the federal government, okay? The fucking sheriff of Palm Beach County. He did a better job than the FBI did, okay, as far as public transparency here. I wonder where that guy is today. He's probably dead.
That's a good question, actually. Let's since you brought him up, PBSO, Rick Bradshaw.
Comments coming in fast. Well, you look that up. Let me check here. Look up Palm Beach or West Palm Beach Sheriff Epstein. That you should get something there. All right. So TPS report says, wasn't it a couple of weeks ago that Kash Patel was on Fox and said that there was nothing to see her? Yes, that's correct. And that's the hostage situation that Chris was talking about. Santa Stevens, wait, remember these guys have families. They can't be watched constantly. I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, look, it's like Chuck Schumer said. There's 6 ways from Sunday to get you if you cross the IC, right? Michael Baden, top forensic doctor, said he was murdered. This is Pitt Danny. Yeah, of course. The hyoid bone. The injuries were not.
The hyoid, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. We could talk about the tape, I guess you will. Okay, they did. Yeah, they released like a 3-hour tape. 11-hour tape. Okay, and yeah, you never saw anything, but there were like 2 cameras down, and then nobody fixed them. Even the guy who was I read that in the Zero Hedge article prior to the show.
Now the tape that was released, there's a full minute missing. Right, they released it. They said this is the unedited tape. There's 1 minute missing at the 11:59 mark, from 11:59 to just after midnight, and the release says, and you can see in 11 hours nobody comes in or out of the cell, and 2 people nobody comes onto or off of the tier is what they said, that level of the jail, and in fact 2 people go onto and off of the tier in that video. So that's bizarre. Real quick, Alex says, I see that comment on YouTube. That's the dumbest thing I've heard this year. If you consider this a betrayal enough to destroy your own country, you are the problem. Let me just say this real quick. And this was actually, I was real skeptical. I was real skeptical of the selection of J.D. Vance for vice president for this reason. This is, okay, he's saying, I voted Trump 3 times. This was a betrayal, never again. Worst betrayal in American history. Okay, first, did you forget when Kamala just straight stole the election or stole the nomination from Biden? That was a pretty major betrayal of the Democrat voters. And you've forgotten about several of other things. If you think this is the biggest betrayal in American history, you're just not paying attention. And then there's the never Trumper thing. For a person who says that they're a never Trumper is someone whose principles do not exist. I don't like this candidate because I don't like his attitude. I don't like his demeanor. I disagree with him on a couple of his policies. And therefore, I'm willing to vote for child mutilation, abortion up to and including the moment after birth at taxpayer expense, an active recruiting campaign being funded by American taxpayer dollars on behalf of the alphabet mafia. That the never Trumper, that's who you are. Is somebody saying dirty words is more pearl clutchingly horrifying to me than the murder of our next generations. So you could piss directly up a rope with that nonsense.
Well, I'll put it this way: don't view it as a betrayal. View it as a confirmation that yes, indeed, there are more powerful figures behind the scene, or there's a consortium of them. Okay. Now, for someone like me, I'm a conspiracy theorist and a right-wing extremist. Okay, and nothing tickles my funny bone like when my confirmation bias gets stroked. Okay, so that's how I view this. It's like, yes, I'm right. It's worse than you thought.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's a comment I'd like to address with you, Mario. This guy Alex Alberto says, "Why don't people like you guys obsessed with Epstein put as much energy into why Putin is wreaking havoc on the world?" Okay,
Because I'm America
thing one,
first, motherfucker. I don't care.
well, thing one, obsessed with Epstein. Let me explain to you how this business works. Right, Epstein is the headline today. I am shamelessly taking advantage of the algorithm to push viewership and make money. Don't get it twisted. But
Right.
on the other piece of that, the Putin thing, son, I've never seen your name in my chat before. This is the first time you've watched one of our videos, apparently. So you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Go on the channel and look for the conversation between two spooks where I sat down with Jack Barsky from Deep Cover. And I, a retired U.S. Army intelligence operator, sat down with Jack Barsky, a retired KGB spy, and we discussed at the beginning of the Russo-Ukraine conflict the various mechanisms around Putin's rise and the antagonization of Putin by Volodymyr Zelensky, and the obvious policy maneuvers that were made by Joe Biden with the explicit, obvious intent of not only exacerbating but igniting the Russo-Ukraine conflict for profit motive to conduct money laundering operations, which were clearly funded through policy maneuvers made by Joe Biden and the Ukraine sabotaging the pipeline. After the Keystone XL went down, the blah blah blah. The fuck was the name of the other pipeline?
Chris, let me help you out here. Okay.
But yes, we've covered it.
It's really quite simple. Okay, the compromising of politicians, okay, and leaders within my country and within the Western world that ostensibly wield the power of life and death over me is far more important to me than if the border between Russia and Ukraine changes. Got it? That's
Nord Stream. Thank you, Alex. I can never remember that one. And you know what? It's probably because every time I think NordVPN and why Destiny needs to be sued right now. But we might cover that in a later show. And then Alex Alberto said, "My apologies. I'll subscribe and comb through your videos." Hey, brother, please do. I'd appreciate the sub. Go check us out on Rumble, where we do the deep dive specials on Saturdays for premium members. And any of you guys that are freeloading over on YouTube, Facebook, X, etc., you should definitely take this opportunity to pop over to Rumble and sign up for a free account. If you do it right now, we'll be live for another 10 minutes or so. If you don't already have one, you go sign up for a free account on Rumble right now and leave a comment in the chat. I'll try and throw you guys a bone today and give away one or two free 1 month premium memberships. So
TPS, you're same fagging. That's illegal. Internet decorum breached. All right. Now, yeah, Alex Alberto. Yeah, be grateful. Most streamers would ignore your comments in the comment section. Okay, we'll actually go to the effort to put you on blast. Okay, enjoy. Like and subscribe.
No doubt. We love trolls here. We need to harass somebody. You kidding? Ever since I got out of the Army, I just don't get as many gay and dick jokes as I used to. Y'all got to understand. I have a name tag that I used to wear downrange when I wasn't allowed to wear my own real name tag that says Big Spoon.
Hey, wait a minute. Aren't you late for work?
Somebody else got that for me. Do what?
Aren't you late for work?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
But I am about to have to wrap this up and get on the road. I've got to be on the north side of Conyers in about 2 hours. So I've got a little bit of time, but not much.
Yep. I guess the key takeaway here would be that I want to leave you with is, look, as much as I like Trump, and I voted for the man 3 times, okay? Trump is not your guy to get the truth about Epstein, okay? And let's be honest, you already know the truth. You just want to hear confirmation about it, okay? You know exactly what the fuck's going on there, all right? But yeah, Trump's got more than 10-year relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Trump's not your guy, okay? If you want an Epstein revelation, okay? And let's be honest, that shit you were never going to get that shit anyway, and it's probably been destroyed at this point. So, cope.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty high degree of probability. I think there's a pretty high degree of probability that all that evidence, all of the pertinent evidence that would lead to anyone other than Epstein, basically what probably remains is evidence that Epstein and Maxwell did crimes, and any evidence that actually implicates and is damning to anybody related to it, to anybody else who could go down, has been destroyed. And that was probably done around the same time that Epstein was Arkancided.
Cam, that's cute. Cameron at this point has resorted to like sitting in front of his computer, seething, hot tears streaming down his cheeks while he clicks a stopwatch, basically fact checking me. Okay, that's nice, Cameron. All right. So just same fagging. It's when you're posting under 2 names, but it's you. You're the one guy. That's what same fagging.
Yeah. Mario. You need to shut the fuck up with that stuff. Don't discourage our viewers from pulling double duty and boosting paycheck on multiple platforms.
Our Rumble Master
doing us a favor.
That's right. Our Rumble Master said we had to get one more live chatter in the stream, or they're going to kill us.
Oh so, no! We got that. We got that yesterday, and it was Alex.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, we got our 20.
Rumble won't kill us. Thank you, Alex.
We're safe for one more month until they create a new onerous requirement.
Yeah, this Rumble shit's like a scavenger hunt that never ends, isn't it? It's like, achievement unlocked. Next achievement, you need 100.
every month or so, every month or every other month, they add a new minimum. So when we first started, we had to have 30 hours of live streaming, and 5 of those had to be members only behind the paywall. Then they added, you also have to get 200 hours of live watch time on your shows. Okay, cool. And we haven't had a problem with any of that, right? We had to boost the content a little bit and add the Saturday shows to get the 5 hours of premium and to get to the 30 hours total. And that's we've had to put in a little work to get that done. Totally worth it. And I think those have been some great shows. And Alex, please don't get confused by Mario not understanding math. Please continue to watch on every platform available, except for Saturday nights when it's Rumble only. And then now they just hit us with we have to have 20 unique live chatters. Again, has not been a problem. So none of these have been onerous and difficult to hit. And I've never doubted that we would just blow through that 20, because I mean today is the 8th. So in 8 days we've already met all the metrics. And we haven't actually met the 30 hours of live streaming or the 5 hours of membership, but we're well past the marks where we want to be. We're at more than a quarter of the 30 hours. We're over half of the 5 hours, and we've still got 22 days of the month to go. So we're going to be fine on that.
Yeah, you might as well wrap it up. I mean, I got Cameron, Alex, and now Chris have all turned on me. But I guess that's what I get for showing up on camera with a pea soup stain on my shirt. So,
well, at least you brushed your hair.
Yeah, I did.
So, thanks for watching today, guys. We love you. Alex, whatever your name was, I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm not looking at the chat anymore. Thanks for watching today. You in particular. Make sure you sub on YouTube and Rumble. We love you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.
Ciao. I can just ramble on that shit indefinitely. So,
Chicken just got stuck in the screen.